Batman: Soul of the Dragon. This is a Batman animated movie, but with a Bruce ploitation spin. And yes, that word definitely exists. I'm not just making it up. If this movie reminds you of a 70s martial arts movie, that's because it's made to look that way. The story, acting, attire, groovy music, action, and dialogue are heavily inspired by those movies. I mean, it looks like something out of a Bruce Lee movie. Sprinkle Batman and some crime fighting, and you've got an enjoyable movie. Even though the film does get a bit boring because we've seen this kind of story before. The assembling of a martial arts team to take down the big baddie. But that's also not a bad thing. This formula works, and it works in this movie. I went into this to see a Batman movie, and instead I saw an animated throwback of 70s martial arts movies. As a result, I was a bit disappointed and bored. There aren't many of your typical Batman characters in this movie. We don't see Batman until maybe the 25th minute. There's a couple of B-list DC characters like Bronze Tiger, Shiva, Rip Jagger, King Snake, Cobra, and Jade. I honestly wasn't familiar with these characters, and I didn't feel like I was watching a DC movie. That was probably also intentional by the filmmakers. It was an excuse for the filmmakers to make this movie as a love letter to 70s kung fu movies. I was also surprised to see this movie was rated R, which is great because the movie wouldn't have been the same without that rating, but I'm surprised DC Studios let the filmmakers do that. I just never thought that something so original and unlike the DC movies we've seen before would be made. There's lots of tropes taken out of 70s martial arts movies that are put into this film. Like, some of the characters are literally ripped out of Enter the Dragon. Ben Turner, aka Bronze Tiger, was made to look like Williams in Enter the Dragon, and Rip Jagger looks just like John Saxon. Richard Dragon looks exactly like Bruce Lee, which I'm pretty sure was intentional. Even the actor John Damakis, who voiced this character, is a renowned martial artist. The final battle even takes place on an island, reminiscent of Enter the Dragon's setting. I'm sure there were other moments and characters that referenced other movies, I just haven't watched enough martial arts movies to really recognize them. Though it was cool they cast Michael J. White, who's already played Bronze Tiger in the live-action series Arrow. I love it when renowned actors play the animated versions of their characters. And that's something James Gunn plans to do in the DC universe. I am so excited for Creature Commandos to do that. The third act actually changed my perspective on this movie. We get some really cool action kung fu sequences, and every character has their moment to shine. More so than Bruce Wayne, who finally dons the bat suit in the third act of this movie. Richard Dragon, for example, regains his sense of purpose as he battles his old sensei in a really cool action sequence. The Batman they depict in this movie is weaker than his karate-kicking friends, but carries a lot of determination and heart, which you could say is a little different from the Batman we're used to seeing. I went into this movie hoping to see a Batman movie and saw something else. So my opinion for this movie is subjective, and I should probably go rewatch it because there is some really cool action and groovy 70s scenes. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be posting more videos like this one.
Now I gotta take her down, John Wick style. I'ma go Bruce Lee, Kill Bill style. Now you can't see me. Too fast for you, moving like Chun-Li. Street